Gracias. Today I want to speak about the duality, dichotomy between violence and peace, between strength and weakness, and between safety and danger. I was speaking with a gentleman yesterday who spent 42 years in the CIA. And quick little side note, the highest compliment I have received in my entire life thus far is from that gentleman. Because he told me many years ago that I am the most interesting person he has ever met. This guy wasn't a desk jockey in the CIA, he was a field agent. So let that sink in. Anyways, we were talking about, school shootings and politics and his time in other countries and the weapons he found. And one of the things I told him is that the blanket of peace people sleep under is actually that of violence. Overwhelming violence, in fact. Excuse me. Because people see people get to reap the fruit and the benefits of the violence or of the capacity or potential to do so, but they don't actually see or engage with the source of the peace. People forget that there's always someone bigger, faster, stronger, smarter. And that, and if you want to keep something in your life, you need to be able to defend it and protect it from those who may seek to use violence or coercion to take it from you. Again, whether that be your family, your resources, your property, your sanity, your energy in general. Danger and safety. People have told me over the years, because I travel a lot, people have told me over the years, stay safe, safe travels. And I always say, stay dangerous. Or my safety is, I don't know if it's directly proportional or inversely proportional, but either way, my safety is directly related to how dangerous I am. I'm going to say that again. My safety is directly related to how dangerous I am. I have often laughed at the weaklings who thought themselves good because they had no claws. Nietzsche. Weakness and meekness is not a virtue. It is virtuous to be extremely dangerous and deadly, but then to channel and use that skill and potential towards more noble and righteous causes, right? And this is another thing. Again, I come not in peace but with a sword. One of the things that always trips me up about the portrayals in today's culture of Yeshua is they always try to paint him as this meek, weak lamb. And again, I talked about this like last night about how the creator would be strong. Again, do you think let's do this logically. The creator of all things, both good and evil, light and darkness, every single thing. Do you think that being would be weak? Okay. So would a messianic figure be a weak lamb that just gets pushed around and, abused? No. I genuinely think that a lot of what is in the Bible has been modified, altered. Again, we already know for a fact there are several books of the Bible that have been removed, like Enoch, which talks about the giants. Which again, we know there were giants here from the Bible. There's fossils, there's footprints across the globe. Just need to look. But I digress. What I'm getting at is that if you are weak and helpless and not even capable of causing harm in any capacity, then you will get your shit pushed in sooner or later, right? I mean, look at this at an astrological level. It is only because of the size of the moon, right? Its mass, its gravity, its power, that it has survived the impacts it has received from various other celestial bodies such as asteroids and meteorites. If it was a glass house, it would not withstand any stones. Again, sun, same principle, has to be able to endure things to be able to continue to have its output. But anyways, I was talking to my friend yesterday, about how 9 times out of 10, I would say I'm the most dangerous person in a room that I walk into. I'm not going to illustrate all the tricks up my sleeve or in my arsenal, but I'll just say this. There's more than one way to skin a cat. When I walk into a room and I have that confidence and that inner knowing that between my physical and my spiritual arsenal, and then also the psychological components as well, which I've studied ninjutsu, a lot of psychology. I did counterintelligence overseas. I did defense when I was at the nuclear base from, Intel. When I have that tool belt, the Batman gear, having a plan A, plan B, plan C, and having different things to fall on, it eliminates fear before it can even manifest. So let's go on the other side of the spectrum. When I was younger and I was weak, when I was before juvie, before my crucible type experiences, I was not capable. I was 133 pounds. I had no martial arts training. I didn't have weapons. I didn't have fighting experience. And it kind of reminds me of the game Kingdom Come Deliverance with Henry, of how you just start off like weak as fuck in that game. You're not this badass protagonist who's destined for greatness. Like, no, humility precedes greatness always. But, I had a lot of fear. I'd walk into rooms or places and I'd already be, anticipating getting harassed or fucked with to some degree. And again, people pick up on that. Before I was 16, dogs could smell the bitch on me and they'd bite me in the ass. So again, I'm not speaking on this, as always, I'm not speaking on this from some sort of intellectual armchair. I'm speaking on this from direct, intimate experience. Tying in last night about what I said, the first thing that Americans need to do to reclaim their sovereignty over themselves and their country is to be strapped, right? Because again, it goes back to this. The amount of safety you can provide for yourself and your loved ones is directly related to how dangerous you are. Do you think that the feds, when they go to conduct a raid of any sort, whether that be on domestic or foreign soil, they assess the threat level? They assess the enemy's capabilities and limitations. So, for example, military doctrine, if I'm fighting a fire team size unit, I need to bring triple that size. So I bring a squad. And if I'm fighting a squad size unit, I need to bring at least a platoon, triple that size. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. 3 is better. So when people are not capable and they are not dangerous, and they are not strong, other people all the time in all your social interactions are gauging your threat level, the amount of power you have, and they are going to act accordingly on that. And again, it's not even a conscious thing. It's not even a vibe. People will say to me, "Well, oh no, but you have knives and weapons on you at all times." Like that's why people are picking up on that. I could be just in a pair of shorts with nothing on me, no jewelry, no fangs, nothing, and people will pick up on, do not fuck with this guy. In fact, my parents have to tell people all the time, like let's say a contractor comes over, a plumber or pest control, what have you, they'll have to warn them like, hey, Nathaniel looks really scary, but he's a nice guy, right? Also, my mama always says that she never feels any more safe than when she's with me. Love you, Mom. Because again, people are subconscious picking up on like, this guy could fuck shit up. Speaking of which, the second highest compliment I have ever received was by a shaman named Taita Pedro de Villa. Thank you, Taita. A shaman from Colombia who was chosen at birth to be a shaman. And at the time of me interacting with him, he had been actively shamanizing for 28 years. And his necklace had over 20 jaguar fangs on it. And I didn't hear this directly. I heard this through the grapevine, but he spoke to his assistant and my buddy heard. And he said in regards to me, he too powerful. He killed everybody. And some people will say, oh wow, Nobu, like you're relishing in the fact that this guy saw you as a threat. Yes, I am. Because one, if I am to maintain my own safety, I need to be capable of eliminating any potential threat. So if I'm in a room and I'm able to kill everyone in there, that also illustrates that I'm most likely able to protect everyone as well, and myself. And furthermore, on my mission, it is necessary for my mission to be able to control Alt-Delete and Alt-F4 programs, subroutines, and entities. This goes also into the modern dating paradox of where the effeminization of men has led to them being nice guys and of placating and trying to treat women nice. But the fact of the matter is if you cannot withstand the storms and bullshit of a woman, there's a very slim chance that you're going to be able to withstand the manipulations and tactics of wolves, demons, cabals, right? So again, the woman's chaos is testing you for the world's external chaos. They're feeling you out to see how well you can deal with new levels and new devils. I'll end this with some self-reflection. Phone call. Get that later. The past couple years, between 2022 and 2025, were largely for me actually going into the feminine. Because from 2012 to 2021, for 9 years, my life was almost exclusively fixated on the masculine and of warrior-like tendencies. The Marine Corps, gunsmithing, survival, fitness. There wasn't really any art or music in my life then. Not to say there wasn't any, but it wasn't much. It was primarily warrior capacities. And as I got into healing myself and others, I had to engage with the feminine more. I couldn't treat my patients and clients like I did Marines. So I had to learn some more feminine stuff. I had to touch into my intuition more. It's also why I started growing out my body hair and my mustache, was to, again, increase my psychic awareness and connectivity. But this past last year when I realized the threat that I identified was, and the implications of it left unchecked, I wept when I realized I had to pick up the sword again. And I also say this because some people think that I am just this bloodthirsty killer, and that is not the case. Because I'm fully conscious of karma and other such things. And again, the guy that eats fruit might know a thing or two about honoring the value of life. But this next phase, this next iteration, this next chapter is really going to be about dialing in those aspects of myself. Because I have gotten soft. I'm not nearly as hard or strong physically or mentally as I used to be. And it's fine. I'll get it back. I know I will. It's not a matter if, it's just a matter of when and to what degree to which I will be satisfied, which I'll never be satisfied fully, right? But it's important for young men to hear such things, because a lot of them are fed this bullshit narrative from different spiritual teachings or from society or even from their family, like especially guys who are raised by mothers, single moms. They don't have those masculine energies. They just don't. It's also why the system that exists seeks to destroy the nuclear family, is because, and also seeks to disempower the man, right? And disempower men is because the only thing that can stop their cabals and plans and objectives is the masculine force. If there's a group of special ops women or soldiers who want to prove me wrong, go for it. But the general rule is this: the women are with the kids and the men are out fighting. Yo soy el gato de negro muy peligro y flete, el engamavado de la Santa Muertes, and there is more than one way to skin a cat, and I am that. Gracias.